Eastern PA Weather Authority meteorologist Bobby Marchich with your outlook for October 24th, 2018. For your Wednesday, expecting partly cloudy skies across the region today. It will be a little bit breezy this morning. After that, we start to see winds diminish this afternoon a little bit, and then even more so overnight. High pressure is going to be moving in from the Great Lakes. That's going to get over here for Thursday, actually tonight and Thursday. So we go into clear skies tonight, and it will be cold overnight. Actually, today is going to be about 12 to 15 degrees cooler than what we saw yesterday. We did have a warm-up ahead of that reinforcing cold front that moved through yesterday afternoon. Many of you got up into the middle 60s, but we will have a much different look at that today with temperatures generally in the lower 50s across the region. And then overnight we get down close to the freezing mark in some spots, but probably just above elsewhere. Even though we have clear skies tonight, I think you're going to have enough of a breeze. Not much, but enough of a breeze here that will prevent frost from forming. So I don't expect anything too scattered tonight. Maybe some patchy frost here and there, but I think most areas will have a little bit too much wind overnight to get any appreciable frost over a widespread area. Again, the aforementioned high pressure is going to move eastward, and we're going to have that move in here for Thursday. So a mostly sunny day here on Thursday, and will be chilly, a little bit cooler than today even. So probably hanging around either side of 50 degrees here on Thursday. And then Friday is going to start off partly cloudy in the morning, and we're having clouds increase in the afternoon. Might even have some showers working in from the southwest. This is association with that coastal low that we've been tracking all week long, actually since long before that. But we have this system coming up in this direction like this, and we'll have the showers that are going to be moving in late afternoon or evening already for our southwestern zones. And as it moves off to the north, it's going to do so during the course of the evening and then the overnight, and bring some periods of rain. Now, there are some areas that will be a little bit cooler right up here near the Pennsylvania and New York border, right in this area, right here. We're going to watch that area very closely for some mixing at the onset. This will go over to rain, but we could have enough cold air around where you could see some snow mixed with the rain, and maybe some of the very highest elevations, and I'm talking about over 1,800 feet. You might get some minor accumulations before any kind of changeover occurs. So minor accumulations, we're talking here, highest peaks, 1 to 2 inches maybe. Okay, so we're not anything really big, but for those areas in that circle, that encircled area, of course it's not a circle, but you know what I mean. This highlighted area right here is where we would see the chance for anything frozen. Everywhere further south, it is just simply too warm, and we're just dealing with rain from start to finish. So this area of low pressure moves off to the northeast, and it will be a little bit breezy with it. We're going to have wind gusts that are going to be over 30 miles per hour in some locations with this, especially late Friday night, early Saturday morning. So again, this is coming in hot late Friday already, and then it's going to continue through the evening, overnight, and right into Saturday morning. May taper to showers in the afternoon here on Saturday and evening, and then it should wrap up and move off to the north and east. Total rainfall, some of you have been asking about how much rainfall we could potentially get. Now, this is not an exact representation of where it's going to be, but the models have been hinting at this area right out here being the breadwinner, so to speak, of where the heaviest rain will fall. And this is generally over 1.5 inches of rain out in this area. Closest the area low pressure down the coast could also be in that at least over an inch. But I see this area in the middle right here. It wants to dry slot the middle areas here, and it's been consistently showing that for a couple days now. So even so, you're still talking closing in on an inch here, at least, or almost an inch in some places. I'd be willing to bet that we would have pretty close to an inch over in these areas here, even if it does get a little bit heavier out here in central Pennsylvania. And again, closest to low pressure out here by the shore points and across Delaware. Those are probably your high-end areas. There will be a dry slot with this involved in the middle somewhere. Where exactly that sets up, we're going to narrow down throughout the end of the week. This is just to give you a general idea of what could happen. So these areas out here that are shaded in the yellows and oranges are 1.5 inches to about 2 inches of rain. Same thing out here in the coastal areas, although not quite as heavy. They're more like an inch to 1.5 inches. And in these areas, you're showing about between 3/4 of an inch and an inch of rain. So either way, we're getting a decent amount of rain out of it. Some wind, obviously, with this on Saturday morning, especially. Or late Friday night and Saturday Saturday morning when the low pressure is at its closest proximity, and I'll back that up here so you can see that. You can see where the isobars are pretty tight here, so that would be where your windier part it is. And this is after midnight on Friday night, And then Saturday morning, it's still, with the low pressure still close by, you're still getting some pretty good wind gusts at that point. Until this finally pulls away, starts to diminish during the afternoon on Saturday and evening. The other side of this is the wintry potential. Again, the same areas I just circled here. These light grays here are an inch or less. Okay, so this indicates to me that you could have some mixing involved, might not have any accumulations necessarily. Maybe the highest peaks, and that's what's outlined here with these little blue dots here. These are some very high elevations, and I could see some of those areas getting into a wintry mix of rain and snow. We might whiten the ground, might give you a quick inch or maybe even 2 inches as an upside, but that would be it, and then it goes over to rain. Again, very far northern areas closest to the New York-Pennsylvania border for that to occur. And this is not a set-in-stone thing either, okay? So, a lot of these areas that are just these real light grays, they probably don't see anything. Maybe some mixing with snow, and that's usually what these models are indicating when they're showing that. Just the highest peaks we're going to be looking at for some maybe minor accumulations, very minor accumulations from the system. And, of course, it's going over to rain anyway. Elsewhere, we are not mixing with snow. So, now the models are a little bit different on this trailing piece of energy. We talked about this in yesterday's video. Upper level low is still has to move through. You have a big upper level low and a surface low that's being spawned, moving around this, wrapping around the upper level low that's sitting there, and that's going to move through at some point. It could be as early as Sunday afternoon, as the GFS indicates. This could be quick and hot after the first one, or it could wait until Sunday night into Monday morning. Like this particular model shows. This is looking at Sunday evening and overnight right here, and the low pressure moves through, and then that's out of here by Tuesday or Monday morning. All right, and then we still have the upper level low influence in the area, so we kind of stay mostly cloudy later on Monday. And same thing here on Tuesday. The low itself is going to be offshore, but we're going to still have probably mostly cloudy skies with a stray shower possibility here even on Tuesday. So it's going to take a while till we get this all out of here. This thing is really going to wrap up in New England at one point once that upper level low catches up to it and joins forces with it and phases. But we could have a pretty good storm up here in New England. Down in this area, we're just left with mostly cloudy skies and a passing shower. It does look like after this point, though, we will clear this out of here finally. Might be a little bit breezy in the middle of the week with this system up in New England still wrapping up here, but looks like we get a break here in our area by the time we get to the middle of the week next week. I'm Eastern PA Weather Authority meteorologist Bobby Marchers. That is your outlook for October 24th, 2018. Have a great Thursday.